Messy Church works. It's been tried. We weren't the first to sort of try it out. It was tried and tested already, and I think you can adapt it to your own church environment and resources available to you with regards to people. It takes quite a lot of people to do it the way we do it, but that's not the only way to do it. Advice would be to get some publicity for it, because unless people know you're doing it, you'll never get them in the door, as it were. So it's all very well having a notice on your church notice board outside the church, but I think you've got to target other fish where fish are. Go to play groups, leave little flyers in places, and really get the message out there that this is what you're doing in your church.
And word of mouth,
welcome.
I think,
Word
is
of
really
mouth is
talk.
Yes.
I think if people are thinking about Messy Church, then talk to people about it. Talk to as many people you can, young or old. It doesn't matter. Because people do talk about it to then pass the word to each other, and you find that there's the mushroom effect.
Yes, get it out there, and spread the word.
Yes.
I think
Messy Church is a godsend.
I think a church thinking about running Messy Church should just go for it.
Yeah.
Our team, I'm sure, would agree that none of us have particular talents. We didn't start it because we were good at different things. It was just something we thought was worth doing, and discovered the talents along the road.
And it's been a lovely experience to get to know our fellow team members a bit more, particularly for me, who's not a member of the church, to actually now know all of us. It's been a lovely experience as a volunteer as well. You get so much enjoyment out of it.
For people that are actually members of a church family already, a church congregation, there's various ways. Volunteers are very important to church environment. Well, it's a nice thing to be a member of a Messy Church team, to be a volunteer.
So it's something that gives you something.
Yeah.
As well
something
as
you can do for the church.
Yeah.
And there's
tremendous,
I think
rewards.
Rewards. It's rewarding.
Yeah. And just to emphasise that it's done for 5 or 6 times a year. So it's not every month. So it's not
exhausting.
It's not exhausting. In fact, it's not too frequent, although it comes around again quite quickly, if I'm sure. But that's important. I think the timing of it, and any new group would have to consider that carefully, and the frequency of it, the timing of it, because I know that some churches have it on a Saturday or even on a Sunday afternoon. The timing is important, but I think from your point, from being a volunteer, that it's only 5 or 6 times a year, and if you're away for 1 or 2 of them, that's not too critical. That's important, and there's such a spread of talents required that you can fit in and slot in somewhere that you could feel at ease with, and not too much pressure that you have to be the inspired one.
Yes. It's an achievable commitment to the church, in the sense that it isn't every week or every month even. It's doable as a volunteer.
I do send an email afterwards thanking the people for coming to Messy Church, and then the week before the next Messy Church I send them an email to remind them that Messy Church is on, and to try and get an idea of numbers. And I find that does work very well, because then you do have an approximate idea of who maybe is going to come along, and for the catering side of things. And initially when we first started, we asked for
we had meetings afterwards.
We had wash-up meetings from team members to try and improve things, and we also asked for feedback from the parents for how they felt. And I mean, I still do ask for feedback, but we don't often get much now.
So when you say you have all these emails, do people register initially?
Yeah, when people arrive, I take their money and they give me their names and address, ages of their children, and their email address.
Right.
And and then they go on my database.
And I think that wearing name labels for adults and children is very helpful.
Yeah.
Because you inevitably feel you really should know this person's name, be it a child or an adult,
Yes.
and you can forget. It's really helpful.
It's very helpful to me in the worship that actually the children have got their name tags on.
Makes a big
Because I can
difference.
actually look at a child and go, whose interest is waning, and go, Steph, would you like to tell us? And that brings them back immediately. It says, you don't know, you cannot know 30 children's names off the top of your head.
No.